Welcome back to class. So I'm going to teach you how to make this fascinator Hatinator. So this is the finished product, and that's the side view, and this is the front view. Now the tools you need is your fabric. It has to be a stretchy fabric. I use scuba hair. So you have to check the side that is stretchy. That is the part you're going to cut your head circumference from. And then you need your UHU glue. You need your cotton bias of the same color. You need your needle and thread. You need your tailor's chalk, your scissors, your art wire, your tape roll or your ruler, and your net. So you can actually play with colors. You can use different color of net and scuba. Okay, or I'll use stretchy fabric. It could be any color, it could be satin, but make sure it has a little bit of stretch. And you're going to cut your head circumference from the stretchy part. Now, an adult circumference, the head will measure about 22, and because the stretchy fabric I did 22, that is folding my fabric into two, I measured 11 and by 16. Okay, so my turban measurement is 22 by 16 inches. Now I'm going to fold in a part at the edge, that is for the band of the cap. From my sample here, it wasn't so straight, so I had to make sure it is straight. So I have 22 by 16. So I'm going to fold in the edge by 1¼ inch, and I'm going to do a straight stitch on my machine. Before I do that, I need to curve the base of the turban. So you can actually use freehand, but if you need a guide on how to do the measurements of that, just measure 5 inches from the corner of your rectangle piece that is folded, then you cut out. You can use freehand or you can use the measurements, just 5 inches from the corner and you're good. So in this video I'm not using a straight scissors because I'm not going to be overlocking the edges, so I'm giving it a fancy cut by using the zigzag scissors. This is art wire. I'm using 40 inches of art wire. You can use the silver or the brownish one. Okay, the brownish one is easier to work with because it's lighter than this. So the next thing is to pick up your paper tape and join the art wire to make it a perfect circle. Okay, so you have to overlay the art wire by 1 inch on each other before applying your paper tape to just secure. You can also use a sellotape, but I prefer using a paper tape. Now the next thing is to get your UHU glue, and you're going to wrap your cotton bias around your art wire. While you're starting, please don't start from where you have the sellotape. Start some inches away from that. Now my advice to you is to cut off about 2½ yards of your cotton bias while you do your wrapping. And when you want to wrap, you have to open the other part of this bias so that you get a speed, basically for speed. So what I did here is the bias is folded into two. Okay, the folding in of the bias is 2, so I left one folded. Then as I'm wrapping it, I'm opening the other folded edge so that I can cover a longer part of the art wire within a short time. When you're wrapping, you have to move with both hands As you're using one hand to wrap, you're using the second hand to secure. You need not apply glue all the way, just apply glue as you get started, and you're going to need the glue when you're finishing up with the wrapping of the arts wire. There are other ways to do this, but I have found out that this method works better. Okay, so I'm almost done with the wrapping. See the way I'm holding it? You use one hand to wrap, you use another hand to secure. Now when you're close to finishing, then you continue to use the folded edge of the bias as it came, so that you have a neat finishing. So my turban is almost ready. That's the base. Because I'm not going to overlock, I'm using the zigzag scissors to cut it straight to give it a beautiful finish. Then after doing that, I'll just take it back to my machine while I do a straight stitch to secure every part of the turban. Now this is your net area. After you have folded the satin bias or cotton bias on your art wire, you need your net. A quick one for the net: you need to use a lightweight net. In fact, you should get something that is more transparent than what I used here. That is the essence of wrapping your art wire with the same color of bias, so that it is neat and beautiful. So all you need to do is just to fold your net around the art wire. Give a little bit of balance. You can place your art wire on the fabric and allow extra 13 inches all round while you put it in. This is 40 inches. You can do 30 inches, you can do 35, depending on how wide or how big you want your art wire to be. So the fabric I'm using here is 30 inches by 24 inches for a 40-inch art wire. So all you need to do is just to pull it together and form a design. So you see quite a number of pleats. So you see, as I'm pulling it, the art wire keeps bending. That is the style I'm trying to get. So you have to keep pulling until you get your desired folding from the art wire. You see, it's not just round now, it has given me another shape. It's not difficult, just keep pulling. As you pull, you're pulling the art wire and it's going to relax. It's going to give you a shape. So this, I have gotten a desired shape. Then I'm using my thread to secure. Please use the same color of thread. I'm using my thread to secure it. Make sure you're tight. Make sure you tighten it. Make sure it is a very tight knot. A very tight knot. And then you trim off the excess. If you use a very light net fabric, your while trimming up the excess, you won't have a bulky excess remaining. But the net I used in this video is a little bit thick, but it still works. But if you're just getting started, it's advisable you use a very light net so that you can work well with it. You can manage the bulk. So make sure you don't cut off your knot as you're trimming the excess. So my turban base is ready. Remember, it's just 2 straight stitches, one for the band and the other for the rest of the cap. So in this instance, I'm going to form gathers at the back of the turban so that it's not just straight. So this also depends on you. I'm just using needle and thread, and I'm just passing it as gathers all through. I'm going to repeat it, then it's going to form gathers at the back. Please, I'm doing this on my sewing allowance, not on the turban itself. I am doing this on my sewing allowance. That is the part that my needle, I make sure my needle does not pass through my seam. Please take note of that. So you secure this and your turban base is ready. So now I want to cover up my bulky part. So I have a 7-inch by 41 or 40 depending on you. So 7 by 40 fabric, which is still the scuba. Now the essence of this design is to cover up the bulky part of the net. Now for making this, you can actually make a bow. You can make any and every kind of design. So what I'm doing here is just to imitate a rose, not a perfect rose. So I folded the fabric into two and I'm just running gather stitches. I'm just putting in my needle and thread. I am forming gathers so that it can give me a circle or rose kind of feeling. But you can also use a bow. You can form a bow with your fabric or with something else. You can use crinoline, whether the small or the big one, to form a rose or petals and just place it on top of the bulky part of the net. So I'm just going to place this on the net so that the center is covered and I have my design ready. So I'm using my hot glue to perfect this design, but for me to get the perfect side to put in the net, okay, I had to wear the turban cap on the mannequin so that I get the right side to place my net. So you see, I've taken note of that. If you're just getting started, you can get a tailor's chalk and just mark that side. So what I'm doing now is just to secure my design, my rose, not a perfect one anyway, on the bulky part, just to secure it. However, you can do anything here. This is where your creativity comes in. You can do several bows and put. You can just buy what's it called, a flower, a petals flower from the market, or something, a ready-made what's it called now, accessories. Anything that has the capacity to cover up the bulky part of the net will do. So these are not going to go around and just place the design. My hot glue is handy here. It's going to secure this design for me and I'm good to go. Okay, when you're using your hot glue gun, please always apply pressure and try and make your work neat. Okay, on a typical day when I'm not rushing, this is not too fantastic, but all of this can still be removed. So this is me trying to place it on the turban. Please apply pressure In fact, you can even use your needle and thread to even secure after using the hot glue gun, so that you have the assurance that your clients won't have any issue with it. So there are little white patches. What is left for me is just to take them off using my finger and secure them the more. So I want to make this look more beautiful, so I'm just going to apply some rhinestones. It's silver, and I'm just going to use my hot glue gun to fix it. And it's also an opportunity for me to cover up the white patches of the hot glue. So when you're doing yours, just experiment, design any way you want it, and you're still going to get a beautiful creation.